Year 6. And somehow, this one begins in San Francisco. 5 years ago, getting from Billings to Great Falls felt like a serious day's work. Now I'm coming off the highway with 2 containers of barley behind me, heading through the streets of San Francisco toward the docks. California has been good to Hank Haulage. Very good. San Diego, Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Barstow, the deserts down south, the Pacific Coast, and now San Francisco. The city itself is something else. Hills everywhere, water on nearly every side, one of the biggest natural harbors on the West Coast, and freight moving through this entire region constantly. We weave through the streets, finally reach the docks, get the barley backed into position, and that brings year 5 officially to an end. $23,000, 6,000 experience, level 40. Not a bad way to start another year, but I've got something much bigger on my mind. That garage in Los Angeles. I've spent weeks thinking about it. 3 bays, right in one of the biggest freight markets in America, surrounded by ports, warehouses, and millions of customers. And I think I'm done thinking. We're buying it. Hello, Pierre.
Morning, boss.
Remember that conversation we had about California?
The one where you asked if I'd ever consider helping run a depot?
That one. I bought the depot, Los Angeles, and I want you running it.
You're serious?
Completely. I need somebody down there who already understands how we work. Somebody who can train drivers without calling Mia every 20 minutes. You've earned it.
Hank. Yeah, absolutely. When do you need me?
As soon as you can get down there. I'm upgrading it from 3 bays to 5 immediately. I want you involved in recruiting the other 4 drivers. Your crew. You build it.
That sounds terrifying.
Good. Means you're taking it seriously.
I'm in.
Perfect. Call me when you get there. 3 bays becomes 5. Pierre arrives and immediately starts recruiting. I leave that part to him. That's the whole reason I promoted him. His first 4 drivers are Martin, Enzo, Marcel, and another Martin. Apparently, Los Angeles has a surplus of Martins. Fine by me. 5 drivers, including Pierre. Depot full. Back in Billings, Pierre's departure leaves an open seat, so Mark comes in to fill it. Then the expensive part begins. The new LA drivers need trucks. Rather than give every new employee a brand new Mac immediately, I start moving some of our older anthems west. Michaela's old truck, Alina's, Edward's, Steve's from Colorado. All those second-hand anthems we've squeezed hundreds of thousands of miles out of get reassigned to Pierre's new crew. They're still good trucks, but our experienced drivers have earned upgrades. Ryan's been looking after my old Superliner, so I move him out of it too. Mark gets the Superliner for now. That gives Ryan the chance to finally move into something modern, while the old Mac stays part of the company. I'm still not ready to restore it. One day. Now comes the bit that hurts. Brand new anthems. 70-inch sleepers. Company colors. Hank Haulage logos. $162,000 each. Edward gets one. Michaela gets one. Ryan gets one. Alina gets one. By the time I'm finished, Billings has one of the newest fleets we've ever had. And Hank Haulage has $9,500 left. I have made a slight mathematical error. Steve still needs a truck. Which means, unfortunately, I know exactly who I have to call.
Hello, Hank.
Hope. Before you ask, yes, I've done something expensive.
How expensive?
Expensive enough that I need $200,000. Temporarily.
Temporarily is one of my favorite banking words. What did you buy?
California Depot. More trucks. Moved Pierre into management. And I'm 1 Mac short.
I can structure 2 facilities. $150,000 at 6%. Daily repayment, $906. Then $50,000 at 7%. $601 daily.
I'll take both. We should have them cleared by winter.
You said that remarkably confidently.
I've got 15 trucks earning money now. Can we do it?
Approved. I'll send everything through.
Thanks, Hope. 200,000 arrives. Another 162 disappears almost immediately. Steve gets his brand new Anthem. And finally, everybody who needs a truck has one. Billings is full. Colorado Springs is full. Los Angeles is full. 15 trucks, including mine, spread across 3 depots. We're officially operating on a scale I couldn't have imagined when this started. Trailers are the next problem. But that can wait. Right now, I need to earn some money.
Ready to stop spending?
Ready to stop spending?
Good. I've got a rough terrain forklift leaving San Francisco for Sacramento. $5,700.
Perfect. Something normal.
You say that now. Job sent. And Pierre's checked in from Los Angeles. He says everything's running.
Good. Let him run it. If he needs me, he knows where I am.
Exactly. Alvarez out.
So after weeks of garages, drivers, truck transfers, bank loans, and enough Mac purchases to keep a dealership very happy, Year 6 finally gets moving. San Francisco to Sacramento. And there's only one way I want to leave this city. Straight across the Golden Gate Bridge. And before long, the Golden Gate appears ahead. There are some roads you drive because they're efficient, and some roads you drive because you might only get one chance to see them properly. This is definitely the second kind. The Golden Gate Bridge opened in 1937 and stretches across the entrance to San Francisco Bay. For decades, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world. And today, there's a black Mac Anthem crossing it with Hank Haulage written nowhere on the side because I still refuse to paint this truck anything except black. Perfect. The bridge disappears behind us and we turn inland. By 10, Sacramento comes into view. California's state capital sits where the Sacramento and American rivers meet. And historically, it became a major transport hub during the Gold Rush and the development of the Transcontinental Railroad. Today, it's where my forklift needs to go. We reach BHP, get the trailer backed in, and that's job 1 of Year 6 complete. Next is packaged food. Sacramento to Oakland, $4,375. Short run, green container, UPS to UPS. A couple of hours later, Oakland appears across the bay. Oakland's port is one of the major container gateways on the West Coast, so this whole region is basically freight heaven. We get into the yard, reverse perfectly first attempt, and move on. Next, back across toward San Francisco. Dry milk heading to San Jose, $3,250. Refrigerated trailer, nothing complicated. San Jose sits at the southern end of the bay and is right in the middle of Silicon Valley. Technology might get all the headlines around here, but those millions of people and businesses still need food, building materials, machinery, and everything else delivered somehow. By 3 in the afternoon, the milk is dropped. Then we turn back north once again for another pickup in San Francisco. Geomembrane rolls, $4,000 to Fresno. Finally, a slightly longer run. The rolls are loaded and we point southeast toward California's Central Valley. This is some of the most productive agricultural land anywhere in America. Fruit, vegetables, nuts, dairy, cotton, grapes. If it grows, there's a decent chance California grows a lot of it. By 7 that evening, Fresno is waiting. The gates open, we roll inside, drop the membranes, and shut down for the night. Tuesday morning starts with a large square baler. Fresno to Modesto, about $4,000. Agricultural machinery in agricultural country. Makes sense. The farm roads are quiet, the sun's out, and by 11, we're rolling into Modesto. It's surrounded by farmland and food production, which means equipment like this never has to travel particularly far before somebody needs it. We drop the baler. Next is scaffolding to Stockton, $1,500. Short enough that I barely get comfortable before we're arriving. Stockton grew as an inland port and agricultural shipping center connected to San Francisco Bay through the river delta. Another freight city, another delivery. By 2 that afternoon, we're looking at something bigger. 2-disc Harrows, Stockton to Reading, $11,700. That gets my attention. They're loaded onto a double setup, bright green agricultural machinery sitting behind the Black Anthem, and we head north. This is a longer one. California's Central Valley stretches hundreds of miles, and it's easy to understand why agriculture dominates so much freight here. There's flat farmland almost everywhere you look. I spend most of the afternoon watching fields roll past. By early evening, the sun is dropping and Reading finally appears. We pull into La Pierre, get through the gates, find the drop point, and unload. It's been a busy couple of days. San Francisco, Sacramento, Oakland, San Jose, Fresno, Modesto, Stockton, Reading. California is disappearing from the unexplored list quickly, but we're not done yet. Wednesday morning takes us west, Reading to Eureka, moving containers, $1,100. Not much money, but Eureka sits on the coast, and it gives us another road we haven't seen. We leave Reading behind and climb into completely different country. Forests, rivers, lakes, mountains. California keeps changing every few hours. By the time Eureka appears, we're back beside the Pacific. Eureka grew around timber, fishing, and Humboldt Bay, and the whole area feels completely different from Southern California. The containers get delivered to Rustic. Perfect backing job. Level 42. And before I can even start looking for the next ordinary load, Mia sends something considerably less ordinary. A giant blue silo. Special transport. Eureka back to Reading. $14,000. And 2 familiar escort vehicles are already waiting.
Hank Haulage, Cal Mercer in front. You copy?
Gotcha, Cal.
Thought we'd managed to lose you in California.
Rear escort here. He was hoping, Hank. I told him you'd come back eventually.
Missed you too, gentlemen. What have we got?
One oversized silo, winding roads, trees close to the shoulder. Nothing heroic. Keep it smooth and follow my calls.
You say nothing heroic, like you know me.
That's exactly why he said it.
Let's move.
The blue silo crawls east, with Cal opening the road and Boone protecting the rear. Northern California is beautiful, but it doesn't exactly make oversized transport easy. Narrow sections, curves, forested roads. The sort of trip where one bad turn can turn a $14,000 delivery into a very expensive roadside attraction. Thankfully, nothing dramatic happens. By 8 that evening, we're back in Reading. Silo delivered. Cal and Boone disappear again until somebody finds something else enormous for me to move. Thursday morning starts with beverages. Reading to Ukiah, a tandem dry van setup. The road takes us southwest through more forest before Ukiah appears around 2 in the afternoon. This region sits in Mendocino County, surrounded by wine country, redwoods, and agriculture. The Walmart takes the load, and we move straight on. Next job requires heading back toward Eureka. Large industrial tubes, $11,000. Eureka to Truckee, 8 hours. Now that's enough road to settle in. The 3 huge metal sections are loaded around 6 in the evening, and we turn inland.
Hello, California.
Colorado, how are you?
Busy. Your dealership account is becoming personally responsible for half my paperwork.
That sounds like job security.
You ordered 5 trucks through us in about 5 minutes.
That was spread across several minutes.
Right. Where are you now?
Leaving Eureka, heading to Truckee. Big industrial tubes. Probably stopping around Reading for a few hours.
How's Pierre doing in Los Angeles?
From what he's told me, good. Mia says the depot's operating normally. I haven't been hovering over him. That's the point of putting him in charge.
Look at you delegating.
Don't sound too surprised.
I'm proud of you. Slightly concerned about the bank loans, but proud.
We'll clear them. Company's earning fast.
Just make sure you come home eventually.
Once California's finished, I'm heading back toward LA. Then Colorado.
I'll believe the Colorado part when I see the truck.
Talk soon.
Drive safe.
By 10 that night, fatigue wins. I pull into a truck stop near Redding, fuel up, park, and get about 6 hours of sleep. 4 in the morning, we're moving again. Dark roads eventually turn gray. Gray turns into morning. And by around 9:30, Truckee appears up in the Sierra Nevada. Truckee's history is tied heavily to railroads and mountain travel through this region. In winter, this whole area gets serious snow. Thankfully, autumn is being kind. The tubes get delivered. Then we make an odd little reposition. Back toward Sacramento to collect potatoes heading down to Fresno. $9,600. ADM to 7. Not exciting, but potatoes pay bills too. By the time Fresno takes them, the company account is pushing toward $500,000 again. That's the advantage of having 15 trucks. I can spend 8 hours driving one job while 14 other trucks are earning somewhere else. Next is a proper long run. Fresno all the way north to Hilt. $11,600. Glass racks. Flatbed. Hilt sits right near the Oregon border, and we've somehow managed to miss it every other time we've crossed this part of the country. So we're fixing that tonight. 4 o'clock Friday afternoon, we leave. Hours of highway follow. Sunset. Darkness. More darkness. And eventually, at 2 in the morning, Hilt finally appears. I am exhausted. And naturally, the delivery point requires backing, because apparently nobody receiving freight at 2 in the morning believes in straight parking spaces. We get it in. Job complete. Then I climb into the sleeper and disappear for the night. Saturday morning starts with another long one. Eureka to Santa Cruz. 2 reservoir tanks. $17,700. We drive south to collect them, get both tanks secured, and leave Eureka around 2 in the afternoon. This time, the Pacific follows us south. Hours later, darkness settles over the coast. Santa Cruz finally appears around 11. The tanks are delivered, and now we're down to the final handful of places in California. Autumn's almost finished, and so is this state. Sunday morning, Santa Cruz, 7 o'clock. And California is finally running out of places Hank Haulage hasn't seen. First job is buttermilk. Santa Cruz to Huron, $8,200. Refrigerated freight, nice easy run through the Central Valley. By 11, we're backing into General Mills. Not my finest parking effort, but the trailer is inside the lines and nobody has complained. Good enough. Now there's one place left that matters today. Santa Maria. Mia finds $14,000 of sulfur moving from San Francisco down the coast, which means one final trip back through the city where year 6 began.
14,000. San Francisco to Santa Maria. Sulfur. Interested?
Absolutely. That should finish California for us.
Pretty much. You've covered nearly everything we needed. Pierre says Los Angeles is operating normally, by the way. His drivers are starting to settle into regular routes.
Good. I'm heading there after Santa Maria.
He'll be glad to see you. Also, your loan repayments are coming out normally, and the account is climbing quickly. So your questionable financial planning has survived another season.
That should be on the company slogan.
Please don't. Job sent. Alvarez out.
I take a moment looking at the skyline. This entire California chapter started with a government crawler carrier into San Diego. It has taken months, but California is finally part of Hank Haulage's world, and we leave San Francisco behind, for real this time. The road south gives me plenty of time to think about what California means for the company. Los Angeles isn't just another garage. it changes the shape of Hank Haulage. Billings was the beginning. Colorado Springs gave us a central base. Los Angeles gives us the Pacific. 3 depots spread across the western half of the country. And for the first time, I'm not personally responsible for every decision happening inside each one. Pierre has LA. Mia coordinates the wider operation. The Billings crew know what they're doing. Colorado has experienced drivers too. That's how this has to work now. I physically cannot know what 14 other people are doing every minute, and they don't know what I'm doing unless I tell them. The company has become too big for everybody to know everything. That's not a problem. That's growth. By 8 Sunday evening, the sulfur gets backed into the delivery point. Job complete. Level 46. And with that, I think California is done. At least for now. I set the GPS for Los Angeles. No freight, just the Black Mac heading south through the darkness toward our newest home. A couple of hours later, city lights start building around us. Freeways get wider, traffic gets heavier. And then the Hank Haulage depot appears. 5 bays, company trucks lined up, our logo everywhere. The same company that started with an empty garage in Billings now has a full operation in Los Angeles. I pull through the gates and park the Anthem. Autumn ends here. We started the season with a new depot, promoted Pierre, hired an entire California team, replaced half the old fleet, and borrowed $200,000 because I somehow forgot Steve needed a truck. Then we drove almost every remaining road in California. Now the account is healthy again. The trucks are working. The state is finished. And winter is arriving. First thing tomorrow, I'm calling Hope. Those loans have survived long enough. Winter begins back at the Los Angeles depot. California is finally behind us, at least in terms of unexplored roads. And before I even think about leaving again, there are 2 things I need to do. First, fix the financial mess I created at the beginning of autumn. Those 2 loans from Hope did exactly what I needed them to do. They got Steve his new truck and allowed me to finish the fleet overhaul without waiting another month. Now they're gone. Hello, Hope.
Hank, please tell me you're calling to deposit money rather than borrow more of it.
Better. I'm paying everything off.
Both loans?
Both. First balance is $142,856. Second is $45,232. Take the lot.
You weren't exaggerating when you said winter. All right, give me a moment. And done. Both facilities are closed. Hank Haulage is debt-free again.
That sounds much better.
Try keeping it that way for longer than a season.
No promises. Thanks, Hope.
Take care, Hank.
$188,000 disappears. But there's something very satisfying about seeing every loan balance return to zero. We're left with about $615,000. And apparently, I've learned exactly nothing about sitting on cash, because now I'm walking into the garage to talk to Pierre about spending more of it.
Morning, boss.
Morning. So, you've had the place to yourself for a few months. How's California treating you?
I love it. Seriously. Never thought I'd say that when you first asked me to move down here, but this place is ridiculous. There's freight everywhere. Port work, Vegas, Yuma, long runs north. One of the guys has already been up toward Kennewick. Another made Kansas City. Somebody else ended up with a Houston run. They're settling in.
Martin, Enzo, Marcel, and the other Martin all behaving themselves?
So far, nobody's put a truck through the office.
High standards.
There is one thing, trailers. We can use customer equipment, obviously, but if you want this depot properly independent, we could really use our own, especially container carriers. We're sitting beside one of the biggest port complexes in the country.
I was thinking the same thing. Anything else?
Something for gas, something for construction work, maybe chips or bulk material. Just give us options.
Leave it with me. And Pierre, good work. This is exactly why I wanted you down here.
Appreciate it, Hank.
So we go shopping. Again. A gas tank trailer, $49,000. A chip van, $68,000. 2 container carriers at $28,000 each. That gives Pierre 2 dedicated setups for port freight. Then a wooden lowboy for $38,000. Los Angeles is sorted. Colorado gets some attention too. Food tank, $55,000. Horizontal bottom dumper, $63,000. And Billings gets a huge insulated trailer for $102,000. By the time I stop clicking purchase, we've gone from $615,000 to about $162,000. Again. But now, every depot has a proper range of equipment. And this company is getting to the point where I can't personally keep track of every driver anymore. That's why Pierre is here. That's why Mia coordinates everything. I don't need to know where Marcel is at 9:30 on a Tuesday morning unless something has gone wrong. The company is becoming too big for that. Then Mia calls, and suddenly California feels very small.
Hank, Victoria Hale has another one.
How big?
$70,000. Los Angeles to Maryville, Missouri.
Missouri?
First Hank Haulage load into the state. Tandem grain trailers out of BNSF, delivery to Organic Valley. Victoria says it's tied to a federal supply continuity program. She'll explain the rest.
28 hours from here.
Which is why I'm calling before you decide to buy anything else.
Accepted.
Already have. Alvarez out.
Missouri. That's our next state. And apparently we're introducing ourselves with $70,000 of government grain. I get the Anthem serviced before we leave. Brakes checked, fluids, tires, everything looks good. Then I drive over to BNSF. 2 grain trailers are waiting. We hitch up. Snow has started settling across Los Angeles. California's sunshine finally disappearing behind winter. And after almost an entire year spent working this state, Hank Haulage is leaving California behind. Next stop, Missouri. 8 o'clock Monday morning, we leave Los Angeles. 28 hours of driving ahead. That makes this one of the longest single contracts I've taken in a long time. There's also something slightly strange about hauling grain halfway across the country for a government contact.
Mr. Morrison?
Victoria, I've got your grain.
Excellent. Before your imagination becomes unnecessarily active, the cargo is exactly what the documentation states. Certified grain. There has been a short-term supply disruption affecting several contracted processors in northern Missouri. Our office was asked to coordinate replacement capacity from available Western stocks.
So no secret government grain.
I'm not entirely certain what secret grain would look like.
Good point.
What matters is the delivery window. The receiving facility has production allocated around your arrival. You have sufficient time for mandatory rest, and I expect you to use it.
Wouldn't dream of doing otherwise.
Your history suggests you occasionally dream rather ambitiously. Drive safely, Mr. Morrison.
That's Victoria, still terrifyingly organized. Apparently, the government doesn't only move giant machinery. Sometimes something as ordinary as grain becomes important enough that paying $70,000 to guarantee it arrives on time makes sense. The first 12 hours disappear beneath us. California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado. By 8 that night, we reach Grand Junction. Grand Junction sits out on Colorado's western slope, surrounded by mountains, desert country, and the Colorado River. Tonight, though, all I care about is the truck stop. I pull off the highway, find somewhere long enough for the tandem trailers, and park. 12 hours behind the wheel, 12 hours off. That'll do. 8. Tuesday morning, we're moving again. The highway runs alongside the river before beginning the long climb east. By the time we reach Denver, I've got a decision to make. Missouri is still a long way ahead, but Colorado Springs isn't far away. And there's somebody there I haven't seen properly since spring. We have enough time. So instead of continuing east, I turn south. A couple hours later, the Hank Haulage garage appears.
Is that actually your truck?
Depends. Are you still annoyed with me?
I haven't decided yet. What are you doing here?
Passing through. Government job to Missouri. I had enough time to stop for the night.
You voluntarily changed your route to come and see me?
I'm capable of personal growth.
This is enormous. Should I call somebody?
Very funny.
How was California? Properly, not the 30-second version you give me on the phone.
Busy. We finished the state. Pierre loves LA. Depot's full. I paid Hope back this morning. Then I spent most of the remaining money on trailers.
There he is. I was worried you'd changed.
Company's doing well. Better than well, actually. 15 trucks now. And we're earning fast enough that spending doesn't hurt the way it used to.
That sentence sounds dangerous coming from you. Where's Missouri fit into all this?
Next part of the map. We're heading east now. Missouri, then Arkansas eventually. After that, there's Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas.
You say that like you've already planned the next 2 years.
I mostly have.
And after Texas?
Hank Haulage doesn't stop existing because I run out of roads I haven't driven. There's always somewhere else. Something else.
Good, because I'd quite like to know what Hank Morrison plans to do when he isn't trying to conquer America.
Working on that part.
Slowly.
Very slowly. We spend the evening together. No contracts, no garage purchases, no trucks. Just dinner, a few hours away from work, and an actual bed. That might be the biggest achievement of year 6 so far. 8. Wednesday morning, I'm back in the Anthem. Claire's already gone to work across the road. The grain is still waiting behind me. And Maryville is about 12 hours east. Time to finish what we started. Colorado Springs disappears in the mirrors. We head northeast, connect back onto the interstate, and point the truck toward Missouri. The scenery slowly flattens. Colorado becomes Kansas. Kansas keeps stretching. Hours of winter farmland, snow sitting beside the highway, and enough straight road to make you appreciate cruise control. By early evening, we pass Lincoln. A sign for Beatrice flashes past. And now we're getting close. This is the furthest east Hank Haulage has personally pushed on this part of the country. Then, just before 8 Wednesday night, Missouri, another state. Maryville appears in the darkness, and after nearly 30 hours of driving spread over 3 days, I am extremely happy to see Organic Valley. We pull into the facility, find the delivery point, back both trailers where they want them, and finally shut the brakes on. $70,000, $20,000 experience, level 49. But more importantly, Hank Haulage has officially arrived in Missouri. The company account is already back near $700,000. 14 other trucks have been working while I crossed half the country. That still takes some getting used to. Thursday morning, there's no reason to leave. We're here to explore. Mia finds $9,000 of salt moving from Maryville to Rolla. New customer names too. DSV Swift. Different companies, different freight, different part of the country. Exactly what I wanted. We hitch up and head south. The route takes us through Kansas City before cutting deeper into Missouri. Kansas City sits right on the Missouri-Kansas border, built around the Missouri River and generations of rail, livestock, and freight movement. Even today, the whole region feels designed around transportation. Highways everywhere, warehouses, rail yards, distribution centers. For Hank Haulage, this part of America makes a lot of sense. By afternoon, we reach Rolla, salt delivered. Then we grab excavated soil from Newmont heading to Jefferson City. $4,000, not far. We leave the quarry around 4, climb out of the pit and get back onto winter roads. Darkness comes early out here. By 7, Jefferson City is already black except for streetlights and snow reflecting around the roads. Missouri's capital sits along the Missouri River, much smaller than Kansas City or St. Louis, but strategically placed right through the middle of the state. We get into the quarry and unload. Done. Friday morning brings something more interesting. Jefferson City to Joplin, $9,700. 2 bright green evergreen trailers. Destination? Subtropolis. I've seen that name on freight paperwork before, and every time I do, it sounds less like a warehouse and more like somewhere a villain keeps a weather machine. The route southwest is easy. Winter sun, clear roads. By 1 in the afternoon, we reach the facility. Security gate, huge complex. Then the road starts taking us underground, literally. We continue deeper into Subtropolis. No masked guards, no secret laboratory, just warehouses, forklifts, trailers. The evergreen containers get dropped. Friday afternoon, we leave the underground complex and immediately pick up another serious contract. Hydrous ammonia, Joplin to St. Joseph, $21,600. Hazardous cargo, good money, and a useful run back north through Missouri. We load the tank, check everything twice, and head out around 2. This is exactly the type of job years of licenses and training were supposed to unlock. 5 years ago, nobody would have handed me this trailer. Now, companies call Hank Haulage specifically because they know we can move it. By 6 that evening, St. Joseph appears. The city sits along the Missouri River and grew as a major western trading and transport point long before trucks existed. Tonight, it's where several thousand gallons of ammonia become somebody else's responsibility. We get through the Dow gates. Tank delivered, job complete. Missouri is far from finished, but winter is running out, and I need to get back to Colorado. Saturday morning, I drive down toward Kansas City for one final load. Cargill to BNSF in Denver, $23,000. Cargo description? Used packaging. Of course it is. You're going to ask. $23,000 for used packaging. Yes, Adrian, I'm going to ask.
Reusable protective shipping fixtures from a confidential manufacturing program. Some are being refurbished, some destroyed. The high rate covers controlled handling, documented custody, and the return window.
So basically, very expensive rubbish.
That is an offensively simple description, but not entirely inaccurate.
And Port Fourchon? My drivers have been making ridiculous money going there for years.
Energy sector, offshore contractors, specialist equipment, replacement components, secure documentation and materials moving through Gulf operations. Blackridge has several long-running clients there. Your drivers proved reliable, so we kept using them.
That's it?
Were you hoping for submarines?
Maybe a little.
I'm afraid you've built a successful freight company, Hank, not joined an espionage agency.
Probably for the best.
Probably. Safe trip to Denver.
And just like that, 3 years of wondering what Adrian Cross actually does gets a fairly sensible answer. He knows powerful people. He works around sensitive industries. His clients pay for privacy and reliability. That's why the jobs are vague. That's why the money is good. And that's why he keeps calling us. The used packaging is delivered to BNSF. Another Cross contract done. And the company is sitting almost exactly where I never expected it to be this quickly. $1 million. Or close enough that by the time everybody finishes their current runs, we'll be there. I could buy another depot. I could add more drivers, more trucks, more trailers. But maybe this time we do something different. Maybe instead of making Hank Haulage bigger, we make it better. I set the GPS for Colorado Springs. No freight, just home. The highway south gives me a little time to think before the city lights appear. Then the Mac dealership. Then our garage across the road.
Twice in one winter. Should I be worried?
I'm setting new records.
How was Missouri?
Cold, busy. Adrian finally explained what Black Ridge actually does.
And?
Turns out the mysterious man with secret trailers is mostly moving confidential industrial freight.
That must be devastating for you.
I was expecting at least one underground lair.
Didn't you literally drive into an underground warehouse?
That's different.
Of course it is. How long are you staying?
A while. I want to look over the fleet. We've spent years expanding. I think it's time we started replacing the last old trucks and upgrading what we already have.
That sounds suspiciously responsible.
Don't worry. I'll find a way to spend far too much money doing it. Spring arrives in Colorado Springs, and for once, I'm not immediately pointing the truck toward another state. I'm pointing it across the road. Front Range Mac. This Anthem has done a ridiculous amount of work since I bought it. The current long 6x4 setup has a 234-gallon fuel capacity. We're changing that to the larger, long 6x4 with 284 gallons. The engine is already about as good as Mac will give me, but there are still a couple of things we can improve. Then the transmission goes. The old one's replaced with an Allison 4700 RDS-R. Best setup I can fit into this truck. I spend a while looking at the company paint, too. White, black, Hank Haulage graphics. Different combinations, and none of them look right. Every other company Anthem can wear the logo. Mine stays black. Pure gloss black. No writing, no stripes, nothing. Some traditions survive expansion.
$28,000. And you somehow managed not to buy another truck.
Growth?
I'm impressed. Although you did spend 10 minutes staring at paint samples.
Company colors didn't suit it.
You're emotionally attached to a black truck.
That truck has carried me halfway across America.
So, yes, emotionally attached.
Maybe a little.
What now?
Now I look at everyone else's trucks.
There it is.
The more I look through the fleet, the more obvious it becomes. We've spent years buying whatever we could afford. 2-star trucks, 3-star trucks, 500,000 miles, 800,000 miles. That made sense when every dollar mattered. It doesn't make sense anymore. Jana still has an older 4-star Anthem in Colorado. Sold. $52,800 back. Then I start looking at Los Angeles. When we opened that depot, Pierre's new crew inherited a bunch of our older trucks. Martin's goes. Marcel's goes. Enzo's goes. The other Martin's goes. 4 tired Anthems removed from the fleet. 5 replacements needed. 1 for Jana, 4 for Los Angeles. And this time, I'm not buying the cheaper specification. 70-inch sleeper, upgraded engine, upgraded transmission, company colors, Hank Haulage logo, $184,605 each. Jana gets the first, then Los Angeles gets 4. Pierre already has his new truck, so when those arrive, every single driver under him will be operating proper modern equipment. By the time the final purchase clears, the company account has been absolutely demolished. Again, around $170,000 left. But look at what we own now. 3 depots, almost the entire fleet running brand new Anthems. Modern sleepers, modern engines, modern transmissions. The only real exception is the Superliner, and that's deliberate. That truck isn't just another asset anymore. Eventually, I want it parked somewhere safe, stripped down and rebuilt properly. Not because we need it, because it deserves it. For now, though, enough shopping. Spring roads are dry. Missouri still isn't finished. And Mia has exactly the job I need.
Ready to earn back everything you just spent?
Please.
Pueblo to Kansas City, Missouri, $14,000. Empty pallets, white sealed dry van, cross contract.
$14,000 for empty pallets. Classic Adrian.
Paperwork's clean, pickup's ready, and it puts you exactly where you wanted to be.
Take it.
Already sent. Alvarez out.
So we leave Colorado Springs, head south to Pueblo, and collect a trailer full of supposedly empty pallets. I don't ask what makes them worth $14,000. Adrian's already explained himself. The freight is legal. The contract is good. That's enough. 8 in the morning, we pull onto the highway. Spring has finally burned the snow away. Blue sky, dry asphalt. 10 hours ahead, and Hank Haulage is heading back to Missouri. A couple of hours outside Pueblo, Colorado, is already opening into long, bright spring highway. After spending winter crawling through snow, this feels easy. The trailer behind me is completely sealed. Manifest says empty pallets. Cross says empty pallets. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm transporting the most valuable empty pallets in America.
Hank, I assume Mia found you the Pueblo movement.
She did. $14,000 for empty pallets. You're making it very difficult not to ask questions.
Reusable specialist shipping frames. Technically, pallets. They belong to one of our manufacturing clients and need to return through Kansas City immediately.
So not even mysterious anymore.
I did tell you what we do.
You've ruined half the entertainment.
I'll endeavor to be more cryptic next time. How is the new fleet?
Expensive. Nearly every old anthem is gone now.
Then I expect your capacity to increase.
There it is. That's why you called.
Partially. Black Ridge will have more work moving east over the coming year. Missouri, Arkansas, Gulf region. Your expansion is useful to us.
Useful to me, too.
Then our arrangement continues to benefit everybody. Safe journey, Hank.
The empty pallets stop being my concern, and $14,000 goes back into the account. Except while I've been driving, the rest of the fleet has been earning too. Already back around $400,000. That's the machine we've built now. I spend money. They replace it. Tuesday morning, we stay in Kansas City and find another load. Frozen fruit, $7,000. Kansas City to Kirksville, Siva to Swift. We collect the refrigerated trailer and head northeast. Kirksville sits in northern Missouri, surrounded by farmland and smaller communities. This is the Missouri I haven't seen yet. Away from the bigger corridors, away from Kansas City. Just open country and freight moving between towns most people would probably never have a reason to visit. We arrive, go through the gates, park the refrigerated trailer, and finish the job. Around midday, another contract appears. Kirksville to Springfield, $15,000. Grain. Except it's sitting inside a completely unmarked black dry van. That is an unusual way to move grain. Still, manifest says grain. Weight checks. Seals intact. Customer is approved. We take it. The run south gives us several hours through the center of Missouri. Springfield is one of the larger cities in the southwest of the state, sitting right in the Ozarks region. It's also a major transport point where several routes meet, which explains why we've driven through it before without ever actually delivering anything there. Tonight changes that. Sunset follows us toward the city. We leave the highway, work our way through the streets, and finally get the black trailer backed into the delivery point. Springfield, officially done. Wednesday morning takes us towards somewhere familiar. Joplin. Subtropolis. Again. This time the cargo description is simply cans. That's it. Cans. White target trailer. Joplin to Columbia. Mia, please tell me you have more information than cans.
I have sealed consumer metal packaging.
That's cans with extra words.
Correct. Cross contract. Subtropolis pickup. Target delivery. Everything's cleared.
Good enough.
You sound disappointed.
I miss when everything felt suspicious.
You complained when everything felt suspicious.
Also true.
Go pick up your cans, Hank. Alvarez out.
Subtropolis still feels bizarre even when you know what it is. Former limestone workings converted into millions of square feet of underground commercial space. Warehouses buried inside rock. Stable temperatures, protection from weather. Perfect for storage. Slightly unsettling for truck drivers. By one Wednesday afternoon, we're pulling off the highway. Target takes the cans, whatever they actually are. Another delivery complete. And now there's only a handful of Missouri left, including one city I haven't properly looked at yet. St. Louis.
Wednesday afternoon gives us industrial pallets from Columbia to Poplar Bluff. $6,000. The load is wider than normal, flags hanging off the rear, but nothing requiring an escort. We get them secured and start working southeast. There's plenty of road here, which gives me time to look at where Missouri sits in the bigger picture. And then St. Louis appears. We're only passing through, but I notice it immediately. This place is interesting. St. Louis sits right on the Mississippi River, practically at the gateway between the western states we've built our company around and everything farther east. Major interstate connections, rail, river freight, warehousing, manufacturing. And on the other side of that river is Illinois, where Hank Haulage has already worked. Geographically, this is almost perfect. Billings handles the northwest. Los Angeles anchors the coast. Colorado Springs covers the middle. A depot around St. Louis would give us something we don't have yet. A proper eastern base. Not East Coast. We're nowhere near ready for that. There's a whole part of the country farther east where we don't have established contracts, yards, support networks, or regular routes yet. Maybe one day. But for now, St. Louis could be our gateway. I'm filing that thought away, not buying anything. Yet. We continue through and eventually reach Poplar Bluff around 7. Industrial pallets delivered to Amish furniture. Next morning, there's a very convenient load waiting. Frozen food. Poplar Bluff to St. Louis. $7,000. Perfect. We hook onto the blue DSV trailer and head north. A couple hours later, the St. Louis skyline begins appearing again. And this time I'm paying closer attention. The Mississippi has made this city a freight hub for generations. Before trucks, riverboats, and railways moved cargo through here. Now interstates connect St. Louis in basically every direction. Kansas City west, Chicago north, Arkansas south, Kentucky and Tennessee farther east, Louisiana eventually below us. That last one matters, because Port Fourchon has been appearing in our driver logs for years. Adrian's energy sector clients down on the Gulf have already been using Hank Haulage. Eventually, I want to see those routes myself. St. Louis puts us on the doorstep of the next chapter. The frozen food gets delivered to Evergreen. Job complete. And instead of looking for another load, I set the GPS for something else. There's a garage nearby. I want to see it. The Anthem rolls out of Evergreen, and only a short distance later we turn into a small industrial yard. 3 bays, office, truck parking. Nothing spectacular. But neither was Billings when I started. I parked the Mac and spent some time walking around.
How's Missouri?
Finished. Or close enough that I'm happy calling it finished.
Good. Where are you?
Standing in that St. Louis garage listing I sent you.
I wondered how long that would take.
3 bays. I don't want 5, not yet. Small operation. Experienced lead driver, 2 others.
Operationally, St. Louis makes sense. We already route freight through Missouri, Illinois, and Kansas. Cross has customers throughout the region. And it positions us well for Arkansas and eventually Louisiana.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Then the question isn't whether it works. It's whether you want a 4th depot this soon after Los Angeles.
Normally, I'd say no. But I don't want to fill it immediately with 5 trucks and burn another $1 million. Keep it small. Let it earn its growth.
That's considerably more restrained than usual.
Claire said something similar.
I can start working through staffing and transfer options. Nothing gets moved until you approve it.
I've got a couple people in mind, but I haven't told them anything yet.
Then they don't know anything yet. Exactly how it should be.
Send me the paperwork.
On its way. Alvarez out.
Summer begins with depot number 4, sitting right here in St. Louis. 3 bays, not 5, and I'm keeping it that way. Los Angeles taught me something. Opening the building is the cheap part. trucks, drivers, trailers, and everything needed to keep that building earning money is where the numbers start getting ridiculous. So St. Louis is going to grow slowly. First, I need somebody I trust running it. Edouard's been with Hank Haulage for years. He's handled cross contracts, long-distance work, winter roads, and everything else we've thrown at him. I ask him to come down from Billings so we can talk.
Quite a place you found.
You like it?
I do. Why do I get the feeling you didn't bring me all the way to Missouri for sightseeing?
Because I want you to stay. I'm putting together a 3-truck operation here. Nothing massive yet. And I want you leading it.
Me?
Pierre's running Los Angeles. You've been with us long enough that I know how you work. I need somebody here who doesn't need me standing over their shoulder. You interested?
Absolutely. I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, I'd like that.
Good. Then St. Louis is yours to get settled. Mia handles the wider dispatching, but day to day, your crew comes to you first.
Understood. I won't let you down.
Never thought you would. That gives us our depot lead. St. Louis needs one more driver, and Mia finds an applicant with possibly the easiest name I've ever had to remember. Jay-Z. Not that Jay-Z. At least I assume not. He takes the 3rd slot. Edouard, Mark, and Jay-Z. 3 drivers. That's enough. Now they need equipment. Edouard already has his new Mac, so I order 2 more Anthems for Mark and Jay-Z. 70-inch sleepers, upgraded engines, upgraded transmissions, company colors. Around $184,000 each. There goes another small fortune. Moving Edouard also opens a seat back in Billings, so Mia recruits Valentino. 1 more driver, 1 more truck. I don't quite have enough left for the full specification, so his comes in slightly cheaper at around $173,000. Still a sleeper, still company colors, still a brand new Mac. By the time the dust settles, Hank Haulage has 4 depots and more trucks than I ever want to count without a spreadsheet. Billings is full, Colorado Springs is full, Los Angeles is full, St. Louis has 3, and the Superliner is finally resting. Monday morning arrives with around $300,000 already back in the account. That's how quickly the fleet is earning now. And I'm done with garages. For the moment.
Morning, Hank. Ready for Arkansas?
That depends entirely on whether you found me a job going there.
St. Louis to Little Rock. Coca-Cola facility to waste management. $5,500. Cargo is waste paper.
So my grand entrance into Arkansas is taking Coca-Cola's rubbish out.
You wanted a job. I found you a job.
Fair. Send it.
Already done. Edouard's depot is live in the system and all 3 drivers are ready. You can leave them to it. Alvarez out.
We leave the new St. Louis depot just after 6 Monday morning and head across town to Coca-Cola. The trailer looks considerably more exciting than the cargo inside it. Waste paper. Basically a very expensive recycling run. We hook up and head south. Missouri begins disappearing behind us. The sun climbs, the highway opens, and then I see it. Welcome to Arkansas, another state. Arkansas sits right between the plains and the deep south, with the Ozark and Ouachita Mountains up north and west, huge areas of farmland farther south and east, timber, rice, poultry, cotton, manufacturing. Plenty for a trucking company. And this is important for another reason. Right now, Hank Haulage has just crossed into Arkansas for the first time. And I've got a trailer full of Coca-Cola's rubbish to deliver to Little Rock. Little Rock comes into view around midday. Arkansas's capital sits almost right in the center of the state on the Arkansas River, which makes it a natural transport point between the northern hills and the flatter agricultural country farther south. For Hank Haulage, it's stop number 1. Waste Management takes the trailer, the paper gets unloaded, and our first Arkansas delivery is done. Next is Little Rock to Texarkana. Reservoir tank, $3,500. Not far. We collect it from Evergreen and get moving around 1 in the afternoon. The roads are completely different from winter Missouri. Green everywhere. Trees, rivers, hot summer sun. By 3, Texarkana appears,
And this place is unusual because the city literally sits on the Arkansas-Texas state line. One side is Arkansas, the other is Texas. I could almost reach our final state from here. Almost. Not yet. Texas gets its own chapter. We drop the reservoir tank at AmeriGas and turn back northeast. Empty pallets from Texarkana to Pine Bluff, $4,200. Another ordinary job, but enough road to keep us moving. Evening follows us across Arkansas. By 8, Pine Bluff appears, and we take the trailer into DSV. Job done. Tuesday morning, more empty pallets. Pine Bluff to El Dorado, just under $2,000. Nothing worth calling anyone about. We pick them up at Target, get back onto the highway, and by 11, we're pulling through the gates in El Dorado. This part of southern Arkansas has long been tied to oil, timber, and manufacturing. Even a smaller city like this has freight moving constantly. And that's something I've learned after 6 years. A trucking empire isn't built only in Los Angeles and Chicago. It's built in places like El Dorado, too. The next load takes us back north, El Dorado to Jonesboro. Used packaging, $6,000. Pickup is Lone Star Cotton. This place gets my attention immediately. Cotton everywhere. Huge white bales. Fields stretching out around the farm. Equipment parked around the yard. There's something satisfying about seeing an operation where everything begins with dirt and eventually leaves on a truck. Arkansas is one of the major cotton-producing states, especially across the flatter eastern and southern regions. Rice is enormous here too. Soybeans, poultry, forestry. You could run a trucking company in this state doing nothing but agriculture and never get bored. Honestly, being a cotton farmer looks pretty good from where I'm sitting, until I remember farmers probably look at my truck and think trucking looks easy too. Everybody's job looks peaceful when you're watching from the road. The used packaging is sealed into a plain white trailer. We leave Lone Star Cotton and head north. A few hours later, sunlight starts fading as Jonesboro comes into view. 3M takes the trailer. Another job done. It's around 6 in the evening when Mia calls.
Hank, before you park for the night, I've got tomorrow morning sorted.
What have you found?
Special transport. Jonesboro to Hot Springs. Oversized industrial tires. $19,800. Cal and Boone are assigned.
Huge tires?
Very huge tires. Pickup is ready first thing tomorrow.
That'll work.
Good. Get some sleep. Alvarez out.
I find a truck stop outside Jonesboro and shut everything down for the night. Wednesday morning, the tires are waiting. And Mia wasn't exaggerating. These things look like they belong on machinery big enough to have its own postcode. We get them secured, and 2 familiar escort vehicles pull into position.
Morning, Hank. You copy?
Morning, Cal. Got you.
Rear is here too. Nice quiet little load today.
Boone, I can see the tires in my mirrors.
Exactly. Small enough to only block most of Arkansas.
Ignore him. Route's straightforward. Few tighter junctions on the way into Hot Springs. Keep your turns wide and stay behind me.
Same as always.
Same as always.
The convoy pulls out. Arkansas rolls by around us. 4 depots behind me. Drivers spread from Montana to California to Missouri. More than enough money coming in. And somehow, I'm still happiest right here. 1 truck, 1 road, 1 enormous load behind me. The tire run takes about 5 hours. Long enough to settle into it without becoming one of those all-day special transports where I start forgetting what normal speed feels like. Hot Springs eventually appears ahead. The city is famous for the natural thermal springs that gave it its name, and the surrounding Ouachita Mountains make this part of Arkansas feel completely different from the flatter country we were driving yesterday. Cal guides us through the last couple of junctions. Boone keeps the rear clear. We reach the delivery site and get the giant tires where they need to go. $20,000. No damage, no drama. Exactly how I like special transport.
From there, the next stretch works us north through Arkansas until we eventually reach Harrison around midday. Another town checked off. Then Mia finds a proper freight run west. Harrison to Fayetteville, $4,700. Sawdust panels from Seva Logistics to Turner Construction. We load them and leave. Fayetteville sits up in northwestern Arkansas in the Ozarks. The whole region has grown massively over the years, with agriculture, retail distribution, manufacturing, and a surprising amount of freight moving through this corner of the state. The drive through town gives me plenty of time to look around before the GPS takes us up a dirt access road toward Turner Construction. Panels delivered, trailer backed in, done. It's about 2 Thursday afternoon. One Arkansas city remains, Fort Smith. There isn't a useful job going there, and for once, I'm not going to drive 3 hours in the wrong direction just so I can earn $1,500 getting there. It's barely an hour away, so I go empty. No trailer, no contract, just sightseeing. Fort Smith appears ahead, sitting near the Oklahoma border along the Arkansas River. Historically, this place was one of the big gateways into the American frontier. Railways came later, then highways, now trucks. I eventually find a lookout near the railway tracks, park the Mack, and take a few minutes. There's artwork painted across some of the nearby buildings, trains moving through, river nearby, and I realize something. Arkansas is basically finished. California, Missouri, Arkansas. 3 more states completed in 1 year. We've got 4 depots now: Billings, Colorado Springs, Los Angeles, St. Louis. Edouard has his own operation. Pierre has his. The Superliner is finally parked. The fleet has almost entirely moved onto brand new Anthems. This doesn't feel like the same company anymore.
Hello?
Hey, got a minute?
I do. Where are you now?
Fort Smith, Arkansas. Parked beside some train tracks.
That sounds suspiciously like you're actually taking a break.
Don't tell Mia.
How's Arkansas?
Beautiful. Hot. A lot greener than I expected. Cotton farms, forests, hills. We're basically finished here already.
And then you're coming home?
Not exactly.
Of course not.
There's one job I'm looking at. It heads south.
How far south?
New Orleans.
Louisiana?
Yeah, but I'm not planning to explore it yet. Just deliver the load and probably call the year there.
What are you carrying?
3 trucks, Western Stars, $70,000 contract.
That's a lot for 3 trucks.
Exactly what I thought. I haven't accepted it yet.
So you're calling me before you decide?
Look at me go.
I'm genuinely impressed.
I'll call once I know what's happening.
Please do. And Hank?
Yeah?
I love you.
I love you too. Have a great day, Claire. The job is sitting in Springdale, not far back north from here. 3 brand new red Western Star trucks. Springdale, Arkansas to New Orleans, Louisiana. $70,000. There's no Victoria Hale name attached. No Blackridge. No government department. Just a private transport contract through Western Star. It's unusually high, but moving 3 complete trucks that far south isn't exactly cheap. Maybe that's all it is. I accept. The GPS turns us back toward Springdale, and with Arkansas behind us, I think I've just found the job that's going to begin year 7. The drive back toward Springdale doesn't take long. By late afternoon, the Western Star facility appears ahead. Large yard, rows of trucks, service bays. Everything looks completely normal. I stop at the workshop first and have the Anthem looked over. We've put serious miles on it this year. California to Missouri, Missouri back to Colorado, then Missouri again, Arkansas. If I'm about to drag 3 trucks all the way to New Orleans, I want everything checked. The transport trailer is waiting around the back, and there they are, 3 red Western Stars. Brand new, identical, one behind another, strapped down and ready. $70,000 to take them from Springdale to New Orleans. I pull slowly around the building toward the exit.
That's when I noticed someone standing near the front office. Man in a dark jacket, maybe late 40s. He watches the truck come around the corner. Can I help you?
Damon Rourke. I oversee special fleet accounts for this facility. Those 3 trucks are mine until they reach New Orleans.
All right. Paperwork signed. They're secure. We're about to leave.
I know. That's why I stopped you.
Something wrong with them?
No. Mechanically, they're perfect. And you're still taking them to New Orleans. Nothing about the contract changes. But before you cross into Louisiana, there's something you need to understand.
About the trucks?
About who's waiting for them.
The paperwork says private fleet delivery.
It is, technically.
That word normally causes problems.
Then you've been in business long enough to know why I used it. The customer purchased these trucks through a holding company. They paid for expedited delivery. They specifically requested Hank Haulage.
Why?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Never heard of them.
Maybe not, but they've heard of you.
From where?
Port Fouchon.
Port Fouchon? My drivers have been running contracts down there for years. Black Ridge contracts.
Then perhaps this makes more sense to you than it does to me.
Not really. What's the customer called?
Bayou Crown Logistics. Private industrial carrier based near New Orleans. Energy work, port freight, offshore support. On paper, completely legitimate.
On paper?
I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm telling you this order was unusual. 3 identical trucks, rush purchase, premium delivery fee. And when I offered them our regular carrier, they said no. They wanted Hank Morrison, personally.
Me?
You. Not one of your drivers, not one of your depots. You.
Did they say why?
No. And that's the part I thought you deserved to know before you drove 13 hours south.
You could have called me before I hitched them up.
I only saw the final dispatch order 20 minutes ago. Until then, I thought you were simply the carrier that won the contract.
So what exactly are you suggesting I do?
Nothing. Deliver the trucks. $70,000 is $70,000. Bayou Crown exists. Their money cleared. Their licenses check out. Nobody here has found anything illegal. But if I were driving, I'd want to know somebody at the other end asked for me by name.
Yeah, I would too. Thanks for telling me.
One more thing. When you arrive in New Orleans, don't expect the person who ordered those trucks to introduce himself as Bayou Crown Logistics.
What does that mean?
That, you'll have to ask him.
Damon walks back toward the building, and I'm left standing beside 3 red Western Stars with considerably more questions than I had 5 minutes ago. Bayou Crown Logistics, Port Fouchon. They know Hank Haulage. They know me. And they paid $70,000 specifically to make sure I'm the one bringing these trucks south. I could call Adrian. Maybe he knows them. I could call Victoria. Maybe she does. But neither one arranged this contract. And right now, neither one even knows I've accepted it. Nobody does, except Mia, Claire, and the people standing inside this building. The Louisiana route is already glowing on the GPS. Springdale to New Orleans. 3 Western Stars behind me. 13 hours south. Arkansas is complete. Year 6 is complete. And for the first time in a long time, I have absolutely no idea what's waiting at the other end.